First contact in the wilderness. The pine needles crackled under Ranger Natalie Reeves' boots as she followed fresh tracks through Shadowvale National Forest. 15 years of service had taught her every ridge and hollow, but these prints matched nothing in her experience. They appeared crystalline, as if something had frozen the ground with each step. Her radio crackled with interference as an emerald light pulsed overhead. The forest fell silent. No birds, no insects, just the hollow whisper of wind through branches. A metallic groan echoed through the trees, followed by the sound of splintering wood. Natalie sprinted toward the disturbance, her hand steady on her tranquilizer gun. In a newly formed clearing sat a vessel that defied explanation. Its surface rippled like water in moonlight, geometric patterns shifting across its hull. Steam rose where it contacted the frozen earth. A section of the ship's surface became transparent, revealing two figures inside. The taller one lay motionless, while a smaller form pressed against the barrier. They had crystalline skin that refracted light like prisms, with graceful limbs and eyes that sparkled like galaxies. "I'm here to help," Natalie called out, lowering her weapon. The barrier dissolved, and a child's voice echoed in her mind. "Please, my guardian is injured. The Shadowkin attacked us." Natalie approached carefully. The adult alien's crystalline form was fractured in several places, leaking a luminescent fluid. The child, who introduced themselves as Vera, explained they were peaceful explorers from the crystalline Concordat. Their guardian, Zix, was a diplomatic envoy seeking first contact with humanity. The Shadowkin oppose any alliance with emerging species, Vera explained, their mental voice trembling. They believe we should conquer rather than cooperate. Natalie checked Zix's injuries. While their biology was alien, she recognized the signs of trauma. "My ranger station is nearby," she offered. "It's isolated, stocked with medical supplies. We can treat your guardian there." "Why assist us?" Vera asked, helping her stabilize Zix. "Your kind fears the unknown." "Because you need help," Natalie replied simply. "And because I've seen enough fear destroy beautiful things in this forest. Sometimes trust has to start somewhere." As they carried Zix through the darkening woods, Natalie knew her life had irreversibly changed. But watching Vera's crystalline form catch the last rays of sunset, sending rainbow patterns dancing through the trees, she felt a profound sense of rightness. Perhaps this was why she'd always felt drawn to this remote wilderness, not just to protect Earth's wonders, but to witness something truly extraordinary. The journey to her station was slow and careful. Vera used their abilities to mask their trail, while Natalie kept watch for any signs of pursuit. She learned that the crystalline Concordat was an alliance of spacefaring species dedicated to peaceful exploration and cultural exchange. Their mission to Earth had been meant as a gesture of friendship. Dawn was breaking as they finally reached the station. While treating Zix's injuries with her first aid supplies, Natalie noticed their fractured crystal slowly beginning to heal, refracting the morning light into mesmerizing patterns. Vera explained that their species drew strength from solar energy, using it to repair and grow their crystalline forms. A military helicopter's distant thrum shattered the peaceful moment. "They're looking for the crash site," Natalie said grimly. "Someone must have reported the lights. If they find our ship's technology, it could change the balance of power across multiple worlds," Vera projected urgently. "The Shadowkin would use that chaos to their advantage." Natalie quickly gathered emergency supplies. "There's an old fire lookout tower deeper in the wilderness. It's been abandoned for years, not even on current maps. We can hide there while I figure out how to help you contact your people." As they prepared to move, Zix spoke for the first time, their mental voice weak but determined. "You risk much for strangers, Natalie Reeves." She smiled, shouldering her pack. "Maybe strangers are just friends we haven't met yet. Besides, protecting this forest means protecting everything in it, even unexpected visitors from the stars." They slipped out just as searchlights began sweeping the tree line. As they disappeared into the wilderness, Natalie felt a profound sense that she wasn't just protecting two alien refugees, she was helping shape humanity's first steps into a larger universe. The dawn painted the sky in brilliant colors, as if nature itself was celebrating this moment of trust between worlds. Underground Sanctuary. The abandoned fire lookout tower creaked in the pre-dawn wind as Natalie kept watch. Inside, Zix's crystalline form slowly mended while Vera maintained a protective energy field around the structure, masking their presence from satellite surveillance. A week had passed since their escape from the ranger station. Military aircraft now regularly patrolled the area, using advanced detection equipment to search for alien signatures. Natalie's ranger credentials had bought them some time, but she knew questions would soon arise about her extended absence from duty. Your healing techniques are surprisingly effective, Zix projected, their fractured crystal patterns gradually realigning. Though our physiologies differ vastly, there's wisdom in your species' understanding of recovery. Vera sat cross-legged near their guardian, practicing what they called light weaving, creating complex patterns of refracted energy that seemed to accelerate Zix's healing process. The young alien had grown more comfortable with Natalie, sharing stories of their homeworld. A crystal planet orbiting twin suns, where cities grew like geometric gardens reaching toward the sky. A sudden burst of radio chatter from Natalie's equipment broke the peaceful scene. Unknown energy signatures detected in Sector 7. All units converge. Repeat, all units converge. They're getting closer, Natalie warned, gathering their emergency supplies. We need to move deeper into the wilderness. There's something else, Vera projected, their crystalline form pulsing with anxiety. I sense Shadokin vessels entering the atmosphere. They're following our quantum trail. Zix struggled to stand, their partially healed form catching the morning light. We cannot let them find Earth. The Shadowkin would see your species as a resource to be harvested, your world as a strategic position in their war against the Concordat. Natalie led them through hidden trails, using her knowledge of the landscape to avoid detection. They descended into a network of ancient limestone caves, where the mineral formations helped mask their energy signatures. Inside, crystal formations reminded Vera of home, their own crystalline structure resonating with the natural formations. As they established a new hiding place, Natalie learned more about the conflict that had brought them to Earth. The Shadowkin were once part of the Concordat, before their belief in genetic superiority led them to break away. They saw emerging civilizations as either potential conquests or threats to be eliminated. Your species stands at a crucial junction, Zix explained while Natalie treated their remaining injuries. Your rapid technological advancement has drawn attention across the galaxy. Some, like the Concordat, wish to guide and welcome you. Others want to control us, Natalie finished grimly. It's a story as old as Earth itself. Their conversation was interrupted by a deep vibration that shook dust from the cave ceiling. Above ground, something massive was moving into position. Vera's form pulsed with warning colors. Shadowkin ground forces. They're deploying quantum scanners. Natalie quickly doused their light source. In the darkness, the aliens' crystalline forms cast soft patterns on the cave walls. They moved deeper into the complex, following passages that hadn't seen human footprints in decades. There might be a way, Vera projected suddenly. The cave crystals. They resonate at frequencies similar to our communication networks. If we could amplify the signal, we could contact the Concordat fleet, Zix finished, their form brightening with hope. But it would also reveal our location, Natalie warned, checking her dwindling supplies. Then we must work quickly, Zix decided. Natalie, your knowledge of these caves could help us position the resonance points. Vera, you'll need to channel your remaining energy into the transmission. As they worked to establish the crystal network, Natalie reflected on how much her life had changed in just a few days. She'd sworn an oath to protect the wilderness under her care, but now that duty had expanded to include protecting Earth itself from forces she never imagined existed. The cave walls began to sing with crystalline harmonics as their makeshift communications array took shape. Above them, the sound of military vehicles and unknown alien devices grew closer. Their time was running out, but in this moment of crisis, human ingenuity and alien technology were working together, creating something new, and perhaps, just perhaps, a chance for survival. Breaking trust. The cave's crystalline network hummed with alien frequencies as Vera channeled energy through the natural formations. 2 weeks had passed since they'd established their underground sanctuary, and the young aliens' powers had grown stronger through interaction with Earth's mineral structures. A new presence interrupted their communication attempts. "Someone's accessing the Ranger Service database," Natalie announced, checking her secure tablet. "They're searching my background, family connections, known associates." "The Shadowkin are adept at manipulation," Zix warned, their healing form casting prismatic patterns on the cave walls. "They will attempt to turn your own people against you." The warning proved prophetic when Natalie's tablet chimed with a message from Marcus Blackwood, her former mentor and current head of Regional Forest Services. "Nat, we need to talk. I know what you're hiding. Let me help before this gets worse." "Marcus taught me everything I know about forest conservation," Natalie explained to her alien companions. "If anyone would understand, it might be him." Despite Zix's concerns, Natalie arranged a meeting at an isolated fire break. Marcus arrived alone as promised, his weathered face grave in the moonlight. But something felt wrong. His movements too precise, his eyes too sharp. "You've served with distinction for 15 years, Marcus began. "Whatever these creatures have told you, whatever promises they've made, it's not worth throwing away your career, your life." "They're refugees seeking peaceful contact," Natalie argued. "If you just listen, I've heard enough." Marcus's voice changed, taking on an unnatural resonance. His form shimmered, revealing a shadowy, crystalline structure beneath the human disguise. "The Shadowkin send their regards." Darkness erupted around them as hidden figures emerged from the trees. Vera's warning cry echoed through Natalie's mind as energy weapons powered up. But the young alien had been practicing more than just communications. Crystals throughout the clearing suddenly pulsed with blinding light, their resonance disrupting the Shadowkin's weapons. Natalie tackled the false Marcus as Zix projected a protective barrier around them. They fled back toward the cave system, pursued by angry shouts and energy blasts. "They've compromised your entire communication network," Zix projected as they ran. "We can no longer trust any human authorities." They reached the cave entrance just as military helicopters appeared overhead, guided by Shadowkin intel. But Vira had one final surprise. The young alien's powers, enhanced by weeks of communion with Earth's crystals, triggered a cascading resonance through the cave system. The ground shifted, collapsing secondary tunnels and sealing most entrances. Safe for the moment in the deeper chambers, Natalie treated a wound Zix had received in the escape. "I'm sorry," she said. "I should have been more careful." "The Shadowkin are masters of deception," Zix replied. "But they underestimate humanity's capacity for genuine loyalty. Your actions prove why the Concordat seeks alliance rather than conquest." As they regrouped in the crystal-lit darkness, Natalie realized the stakes had risen beyond simple survival. The Shadowkin's infiltration meant Earth's authorities were now compromised, and any hope for peaceful first contact rested on their next moves. Their underground sanctuary had become a last bastion of trust between worlds. Vira worked to establish new crystal resonance patterns, while Natalie used her knowledge of the cave system to plan escape routes. Above them, two forces searched with very different intentions, one seeking to protect humanity through fear and control, the other hoping to forge bonds of friendship across the stars. In the depths of Earth, the choice between these futures would soon be made. The decision. Military blockades tightened around Shadowvale Forest as Natalie studied satellite imagery on her tablet. 3 days had passed since the Shadowkin's deception was revealed, and their influence over Earth's authorities grew stronger. Inside their crystal-lit cave sanctuary, Vera had finally managed to contact the Concordat fleet. "Our ships can reach Earth within 48 hours, Six projected, their fully healed form pulsing with urgency. But the Shadowkin orbital weapons will detect their arrival. The resulting conflict could devastate your planet." A plan formed in Natalie's mind as she overlaid geological survey maps with her Ranger Service knowledge. "There's an old quarry 10 miles north. The crystal deposits there could amplify your signal enough to disrupt their orbital network." "The quarry is outside our safe zone," Vera observed, their crystalline form dimming with concern. "We'd be exposed." "Sometimes the riskiest path is the only way forward," Natalie replied, gathering their remaining supplies. She'd sworn to protect this wilderness and its inhabitants, even if those inhabitants came from across the galaxy. They emerged from the caves under cover of a storm, using the electromagnetic interference to mask their movement. Natalie led them through hidden game trails and abandoned logging roads, while Vera used their growing powers to distort any electronic surveillance. At the quarry's edge, they found evidence of Shadowkin presence, destroyed crystal formations, and signs of energy weapon fire. "They're studying Earth's natural crystals," Six explained grimly, "learning to corrupt them for their purposes. Setting up their makeshift transmitter would take time they didn't have." As Vera began channeling energy into the quarry's crystal matrix, patrol vehicles appeared on the access road. But these weren't military. They were Ranger Service vehicles. Through binoculars, Natalie recognized faces she'd known for years. Good people, dedicated Rangers, now unknowingly serving the Shadowkin's agenda. She realized she faced an impossible choice: maintain her cover and risk her alien friends, or reveal herself to save them and lose any chance of stopping the invasion. The decision was made for her when one of the patrol vehicles suddenly swerved, its headlights catching Vera's crystalline form. Shouts of alarm echoed across the quarry as weapons were drawn. Natalie stepped into the light, hands raised. "Listen to me," she called out to her former colleagues. "What you've been told isn't the whole truth. These beings aren't a threat. They're trying to protect us." For a moment, she saw uncertainty in familiar faces. Then dark shapes emerged behind the Rangers, Shadowkin revealing their true forms. The air crackled with building energy as both sides prepared for confrontation. In that moment, Natalie understood that her greatest duty wasn't to any one species or organization, but to the truth itself. As thunder rolled overhead and crystal formations began to pulse with power, she made her choice, one that would either save two worlds or doom them both. A new dawn. The quarry erupted in chaos as Shadowkin energy weapons clashed with Vera's crystal-enhanced shields. Natalie's fellow Rangers, now free of the aliens' influence, took cover behind vehicles as centuries of hidden conflict finally broke into the open. Zix channeled power into the quarry's crystal matrix, while Natalie coordinated with her colleagues, using their knowledge of the terrain to outmaneuver the Shadowkin forces. Above them, the storm intensified, lightning striking crystal formations in patterns too precise to be natural. "The Concordat receives our signal," Vera projected, their form blazing with channeled energy. "But the Shadowkin orbital weapons are targeting this location." Natalie made a quick decision. "Rangers, fall back to the tree line. We need to protect the crystal formation." A massive energy surge lit up the quarry as Shadowkin ships descended through the clouds. But they weren't alone. The storm split open, revealing sleek crystalline vessels of the Concordat fleet. The battle for Earth's future had begun. In the chaos, Natalie noticed something extraordinary. The quarry's crystals were responding to the conflict, growing and changing in real time. Vera's powers had awakened something dormant in Earth's mineral structures, something that resonated with both human and alien energies. "The crystals," Zix projected in amazement. "They're creating a natural defense network. Your planet is protecting itself." Crystal spires erupted from the ground, intercepting Shadowkin energy beams and redirecting them harmlessly into the sky. The formation's growth accelerated, forming a geometric pattern that matched the Concordat ships above. Earth itself had made its choice about first contact. The Shadowkin forces, their weapons rendered useless by the crystal network, retreated to their ships. The storm cleared, revealing a transformed landscape where human-made quarry met alien crystal architecture in a stunning display of natural harmony. As dawn broke over the new crystal forest, representatives from the Concordat landed to meet with Earth's authorities. Real ones this time, brought by Natalie's ranger colleagues. She watched as Virat explained to amazed scientists how their powers had awakened Earth's dormant crystal potential, creating a permanent link between worlds. "You knew this might happen," Natalie said to Zix as they observed the first official meetings between species. "That's why you chose this location to crash." "We hoped," Zix admitted. "The Concordat sensors detected unique crystalline patterns in your planet's crust. But it took human protection and trust to unlock their true potential." The crystal formations continued to grow, but naturally now, integrating with the existing forest. Earth's first steps into the galactic community would be marked not by fear or conquest, but by an unexpected synthesis of worlds. As Natalie watched rangers and aliens working together to establish protective boundaries around the new crystal forest, she smiled. She was still doing her job, protecting a wilderness that had grown to include wonders from beyond the stars. The future would bring challenges, but Earth had proven itself ready for a larger universe, one founded on trust, protection, and the remarkable ability of life to find harmony in the most unexpected places.